Welcome back to Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney with Zegita. Let's get this going. Rise from the Ashes, Day 3 investigation from chapter start. February 24th, 3:12 p.m. Wright Co. Blah blah blah.
I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said.
Drastic crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to, in order for him to get what the verdict he deserved. Ooh.
I didn't know. I never knew that the SL9 incident was just another name for the Joe Drake killings.
Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me.
Lana wanted Drake convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me.
What do you mean, what happened to you?
It's all there in the file. Joe Drake's last victim was Prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind the incriminating piece of evidence.
But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma?
On the night of Prosecutor Neil's was murdered, Joe Drake tried to kill me.
What? He tried to kill you?
Officer Marshall's brother, Neil, was only trying to save me.
So that means you...
Yes, I was a witness in the Joe Drake trials.
I didn't see that one coming. Okay. Unfortunately, even though she's distressed about it, we have to talk to her about...
It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year, too. There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for this season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office.
Joe Drake.
It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up.
Jake Marshall's brother.
Joe Drake tried to take me as a hostage, but before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then,
what happened?
I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can still see it now.
A permanent picture? Let's talk about that then. What did you see the instant the crime occurred?
Drake knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife.
Neil Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl.
I don't remember what happened after that. Apparently I passed out.
She's still wearing the same clothes. That's weird.
When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms.
Poor Emma, you've been through so much. There's nobody in the stands.
I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good.
2 years ago, you must have been 14. That's understandable. Aww. And she hasn't changed at all.
Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies and find evidence to make an airtight case. That way Lana would never have to forge anything.
I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes Emma tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. Alright.
I don't remember the moment when Drake stabbed Mr. Marshall.
So you weren't able to testify about that?
No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime.
Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence? Who says bogus anymore? Oh, I guess, it's okay.
The prosecutor's office wanted the guilty verdict so badly, Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it.
Edgeworth?
Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. He couldn't have known. He was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. The rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened. So it's true. Even though he may not have known it, Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence. After that case ended, Lana was never the same. She became cold like she is today. She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. Alright, well, this is new. There's something that's puzzling me, Emma. What is it? You said you were in Lana's office at the time, right? That's right. Why would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor? Oh, there's no mystery there. Joe Drake had been taken in for questioning that day. Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police? Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office. But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office? Because the detective's office and the questioning room are right across from the elevator. Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she? No, silly. Didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective. She was the best in the entire force. What? That's news to me. After the Joe Drake case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor. Lana used to be a detective? I'd better have another talk with her. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Why would they put a detective in the prosecutor's office, much less as the, head prosecutor? February 24th, detention center, visitor's room. Oh, hello. Lana! Mr. Wright. It seems I keep causing you trouble. Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were that type. Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Believe me, I understand the risks. Lana, Emma told me about you. Oh? About how you were a detective 2 years ago, and how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office. That's right. Could you fill me in on the details, especially about that unusual change of jobs? I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright. Alright, so let's go ahead and talk to her. A lot of revelations were uncovered today. Not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago. Evidence from that case was stolen. I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial, it wasn't fair, was it? I believed in you, Lana. I believed no matter what happened, you'd always stick to the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. Ooh, that sounds dramatic. Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15 there was no murder at the police department. Tell me it's not true, Lana. Well, the witness, Miss Starr, said. About you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me. I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so phased before. Ooh, alright. It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing! Looks pretty good there. They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Grant cracked together. Chief Grant? Well, I don't know why I keep calling him Grant. I guess it's just weird to have a G-A-N-T. Then he was the vice head of the criminal affairs, but he still worked at the crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever! They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed. Emma really idolizes her big sister. But now, you're chief prosecutor. What happened? I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes so you could later use that experience in court. Gant's help in the SL9 case was critical in that resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office. Maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago. Okay. 2 years ago, I was second in command in the detective investigating Drake. Second in command? That means the chief of detective was no doubt Damon Gant? Yes, Detective Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations. They even had the same office! Ha!
We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Giggity. Without a doubt, Joe Drake was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when the last murder took place, when he tried to murder Emma.
Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Drake.
Drake? I don't know. You see, the first person who happened on the scene of the crime was me. Now you tell us. Okay.